Hiya, crafty folks. Amy here with Amy's Wares, and I have some dude cards to share with you. This is a quick batch. So these are 3 brand new stencils from the April release at Colorful Life Designs, and I do have a coupon AmyFan10, so you can use that at checkout and save on your complete order. But these are 3 of the kind of geometric options in this month's release, and I did use pixie spray on some of them, and I am going to use this Spa Collection Apothecary ink pads from Catherine Pooler. And here are photos of the finished cards. These came together super quick. These would be great for anyone, especially dudes. I know many of us struggle with masculine card ideas. So that's kind of what I had in mind, and this video is for you. But really, these are super simple in design. Anyone can do it, and you can use stuff you already have in your crafty stash, or obviously check out this amazing release because there's so many good ones. Now, this stencil I did do pixie spray on. You can always tell if I use the brayer that allows me to press it down into the cardstock. And I will link all the products and the stencil names in the video description box below. But this one I decided to use warmer colors. So I'm starting off with the lightest ink blending. No real rhyme or reason. Sometimes I'll go, kind of in diagonal strips. Sometimes I'll just kind of work in a few different places. If I am just doing little spots of color, I do tend to think in terms of 3. So the number 3 is very big in the design world. It's visually appealing. And you can also kind of think in terms of triangles if that helps you. But if you use a few different colors, try and think of putting each color down a few different places on the card just to really kind of balance things out and make it visually interesting. So again, I'm coming back with the yellow, just kind of working between these 2 of the lighter colors, and then I will come in with that terracotta, which is like a really deep, earthy, orangey red, just like a terracotta pot, just like you would expect. So I'm getting ink all over myself like usual because I'm a slob. But I'm going to come in on these corners and just really amp up the color with this terracotta color and just add some more dimension with the colors that I chose here. So I love this stencil. I love the little cutout holes in these circles. I just think it's so interesting. This would be fun that you could maybe rotate it and see what sort of a look you could get. But for this one, I just did it the one way. Now I'm going to move on to this next lacy sort of stencil. I apologize. I don't have the name right off the top of my head, but I will link the names in the video description box below. And you'll see I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. So I'm kind of working in a batching mentality. I'm kind of doing the ink blending first and working through that step, and then kind of coming back in and adding the sentiments and things like that to the card. So this one I actually grabbed, I think this is the Luxe collection of Catherine Pooler ink pads, and I'm starting with this orangey yellow color and then just ink blending. Now this one is almost like a mask, meaning that it doesn't have the square edges. It has that cool design feature. So I'm using that in my design. I want the edge of that stencil just to kind of show and have crisp lines in the design. So now I'm coming in with, I believe this is Uptown, and then just kind of letting these colors overlap, and where they do, you get a pretty green color. So you'll see in the finished card that I do end up changing this. So I thought, I wasn't loving this. So I'm going to tone down the white and bring some residual ink and kind of go over the white just to kind of tone it down a notch. And then I do end up setting this aside, moving on to the next, and then I do ultimately end up coming back and changing that one because it wasn't my favorite. Now this one, this is so cool. I wasn't sure what to think of this when I first saw it. I was kind of drawn to it, but then I was like, it's really interesting. It's really delicate. And I think it's actually my favorite. Definitely my favorite out of this batch. Did you see that? I just totally threw my ink pad. What is wrong with me? I get so excited in my crafting and I just start throwing stuff around. Don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, this one ended up being my favorite of this batch for sure. And actually one of my favorites from this whole release. And I'm coming in with kind of a muted green color. And then I do end up kind of incorporating just some residual ink for the other portion. So I grabbed my brown blending brush, and I think I even used my gray blending brush. So I really, really, really like how these colors work together. It was soft and subtle, and this would be great for a masculine card. But honestly, anybody anybody would enjoy this. I know I would enjoy a card with these colors and with this design. So I'm just working over the whole card front on this, and then I will remove the stencil to reveal this amazing intricate design. So again, definitely one you want to use with pixie spray, just because there's a lot of parts that could shift around on you, and you really want to accentuate those amazing details. Now on this one, right off the bat, I know I want to round the corners, so I just do the 2 opposing corners. And now this one, I come back, I'm like, not digging it, not feeling this at all. Like, it looks springy and kind of like Eastery, which is great, but not what I wanted. So I decided to lay the stencil over from the other side, almost like it's overlapping, and then I'm coming in with this dress blues with the Uptown, and I'm bringing the contrast here. So I'm coming in heavy-handed. I want this blue to be dark, and I am so pleased and happy that I did this, because I ended up starting with a card that was kind of meh and not really impressive to like, wow, this is really kind of unexpected. And this is honestly what you should do with your stencils. I mean, don't overthink it. It's just paper. Seriously, just start flipping it around, turning it different directions, getting different colors. You can get the most unexpected, cool looks this way. So here I'm just kind of bringing in a little bit more blue, kind of just from the corners or from the left side, just to kind of tie that in. And look at this, guys. How cool is that? So it almost looks like it's overlapping another layer. I was so pleased, and I'm really glad I went back and revisited it. So if you don't like something, maybe just try something else. Just turn your stencil and do another layer and see if you like it better. Because in this case, it saved that card, in my opinion, because it was very lackluster until I did that second layer of color. So here I'm just shopping my sentiment book. I'm showing you my process. I just kind of go through. I might have, a birthday card in mind or something like that, but really I just kind of play and then find something that works with what I've just created. So this is a huge time saver for me, having these components ready to go. This allowed me to batch these 3 cards just really quickly. So if you're into batching cards or having a big stash, or maybe a card donation, or if you make cards for your church, then simple designs like this are really where it's at. And having a lot of these components ready to go is a huge time saver. So this one I used a Catherine Pooler die cut. I did another happy birthday on the other one. And then this one was a Kathy Zilski dude layered stencil. So all of these are basically birthday cards, which will work great for guys or for anyone, and they came together in a snap. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. I do actually have a whole playlist dedicated to masculine or cards for anybody, so be sure to check that out, and I will link the products that I used in the video description box below. And thanks for spending time with me. I'll catch you next time. Bye.